I paid child support with equal custody, but she still played single mom. Then a lawyer email hit my inbox that night.
Hi, I'm Matt, 33, and 5 months ago I became a dad and a divorcee in the same week. I didn't grow up dreaming of becoming someone's cautionary tale, but here we are. Before the concert, before the Instagram caption, before the lawyer with the efficient voice and the locks that clicked into new configurations, I thought I was building something solid. A marriage, a family, a future. Not perfect, but real, tangible. Then I learned that sometimes reality isn't what's in front of you, it's what's posted online for everyone else to consume. Ashley was magnetic. Everyone said that. Beautiful, outgoing, charming in that influencer light kind of way. When we met, she barely posted. A few beach pictures, a dog selfie, her Starbucks order, normal stuff. But about a year ago, something flipped. She went from sharing moments to curating a brand. Overnight, our life became her content. And at first, I played along. Took her photos at golden hour, helped her pick filter packs, held bags while she posed outside murals. It felt harmless. But then the captions started. That was the part that always got me. Not the photos, the words. The first time, it was like a punch in the stomach. Out with the girls pretending I'm single again. A joke, she said. A joke for the algorithm. She deleted it after I asked, promised it wouldn't happen again. But it did. Again and again, always with a smile, always with a defense. You're being dramatic. It's not that serious. You're overreacting. So I started documenting, not because I planned to use it, but because I needed to be sure I wasn't crazy. 4 separate incidents, 4 apologies, 4 promises. Then came the concert. She was out of town, screaming in a sea of neon lights and cell phones held high. And the caption, that was the final straw. Forgot I'm happily married and pregnant for a second there. And just like that, I remembered every ignored boundary, every eye roll, every gaslighted argument. I remembered the version of myself I kept shrinking into, trying to be chill, trying not to overreact, trying to make peace with someone who only made peace offerings after going to war online. So I did something I never thought I would. I helped her forget permanently. She didn't come home that night. I knew she wouldn't. The concert ended late, and she had the hotel booked with her sister and friends. But when her phone lit up at 12:17 a.m. with my photo, 3 suitcases and 2 boxes stacked neatly on the porch under the soft glow of our entryway light, I imagine that hotel room got real quiet. Her first call came in 30 seconds later. I watched it ring. Let it. The second one too. Third. Fourth. Then the text started. Confusion first. What is this? Are you serious right now? Tell me this is a joke. Then panic. Please answer. I'm pregnant. What's happening? I don't understand. And I knew she didn't, really, because women like Ashley are used to consequences being emotional, not practical. Used to tears being a fix, not a reaction. Used to arguments that end in makeup sex, not locksmiths and luggage. By the time I went to bed, I'd received 37 calls. I didn't answer a single one. In the morning, I opened my front door and let the silence hit me. No perfumes in the air, no cabinet left ajar, no ring light standing like a robot in the corner of the living room. Just my coffee maker humming quietly. The apartment looked wider, like it had exhaled. Or maybe I did. Her family lost their minds. Her mom left me 5 voicemails in a row. How dare you? She's carrying your child. This is abuse. Her sister texted screenshots of Ashley crying. Look what you did. She's hysterical. She can't stop shaking. One of her friends messaged me a screenshot of my comment. Wow, just wow, real mature. But here's what none of them asked. Why did she post it in the first place? Not once. Because people who live on the internet don't ask why you crossed a line. They ask why you're being held accountable. Ashley didn't delete the post. Not that night, not the next day. For 5 full days it stayed up. Her friends commented like she was a survivor of war, not the architect of her own consequences. "We got you, girl. Men are so fragile. You were just having fun." It was fun, right? Being pregnant at a concert, pretending your husband doesn't exist, telling the world you forgot your child's father on purpose, getting caught, then crying because this time the story didn't end with a hug. It ended with a lock clicking shut behind you.
By day 5, the post had over 500 likes, dozens of comments, half of them cheering her on, half asking what the hell she was thinking. My comment, "Let me help you forget permanently," was screenshotted and shared like a mic drop. I didn't plan for that. I wrote it in a moment of clarity, not cruelty. A boundary carved into digital stone. It became a meme. Someone made a TikTok about it, lip-syncing her caption with fake pregnancy padding, then cutting to my comment like it was a plot twist. Views in the hundreds of thousands. I never watched it, but my buddy Mike sent me the link with a single message. "Bro, you're internet famous." Great. Meanwhile, Ashley went full campaign mode. Week 1, she messaged me nonstop. First denial, then anger, then bargaining. "It was a joke. You're blowing this up. I'll take it down. Just talk to me." She waited too long. Her taking down the post after 5 days was like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube with a baseball bat. It was everywhere. People from high school I hadn't talked to in years reached out. "Dude, what happened? Saw the post. Hope you're okay." I didn't respond. Not to Ashley, not to anyone else. I spoke only to my lawyer. Her name was Jennifer Huang, and she didn't flinch once. I laid out the timeline, showed her screenshots, emails, the 4 previous incidents. She listened, took notes, and finally said, "We'll file for legal separation today. You'll need to serve her formally, but given the circumstances, it shouldn't be a problem." I signed the paperwork. Ashley showed up at my work 2 days later. Receptionist called my desk. "There's a woman here, says it's an emergency. Tell her to leave or I'll call security." 5 minutes later, she texted me from a new number. "Talk to me, please." I sent her Jennifer's contact. "I don't want a lawyer, I want my husband." "Then maybe you should have remembered you had one before posting like you didn't." I didn't respond after that. She escalated. Flowers to my office, a handwritten letter, a friend messaging on her behalf. "She's pregnant, man, don't do this." But I wasn't doing anything. I was done doing. For 4 years, I'd been patient. For 1 year, I'd been ignored. For 5 months, I'd been preparing for a daughter. For 5 days, she let a post live that mocked all of it. She didn't want to fix things. She wanted forgiveness without accountability, a reset button that made the last 12 months disappear. But I'm not a reset button. I'm a father now. And my daughter's first lesson from me will not be, "This is how you treat someone who loves you." The first custody conversation felt surreal. Jennifer had warned me, she'll pivot from denial to damage control, and if she's smart or well-advised, she'll use the pregnancy. She did. Her lawyer emailed us a week after the separation filing, a carefully worded response full of emotional strain, medical concerns, and the importance of maternal stability. Translation, "Give her everything or you're a heartless monster." Jennifer didn't blink. "We'll fight for 50-50. Courts lean towards joint custody unless there's abuse, and she's got no leg to stand on there. But prepare yourself, this won't be clean. Nothing ever is." Ashley stopped begging around week 3. The tone shifted. She went cold. Her lawyer took over entirely. All communication had to go through Jennifer, which was fine by me. I wasn't interested in long texts about feelings. I was interested in fairness, custody, stability, boundaries. You know, the stuff I asked for when we were still married. My mom, meanwhile, was running her own campaign. "She's carrying your child, Matt. She's stressed. She made mistakes. You're throwing away a marriage over captions." No, I was throwing away a marriage over repeated betrayal. 4 chances, 4 violations. I counted them like punches to the gut. I could recite the dates in my sleep. But to my mom, it was still salvageable. Still just a misunderstanding that needed a good long hug and a few therapy sessions.
Don't you want your daughter growing up with both parents together? I want my daughter growing up watching her father respect himself. Silence on the other end. Then, softly, you're not the man I thought you'd be. I am exactly the man I promised I'd be. That's the problem. Ashley didn't delete her Instagram, just cleaned it up, removed the concert post, archived the older ones, replaced them with maternity photos, inspirational quotes, a carefully polished narrative, starting over, one day at a time, comments filled with digital sympathy. She never posted about what actually happened, never mentioned me, the separation, the legal action, the fallout. She let the internet assume. Single mom life, doing it all on my own, strong enough to break and rebuild. And her followers ate it up like it was gospel. I didn't care, truly. That world, the curated glow of fake vulnerability and hashtags like worry your mama, wasn't mine anymore. Let her have it. All I cared about now was the child behind the bump, Emma. I knew her name before she was born. Ashley had picked it. I had agreed. We were still married then, still pretending we were partners, but I held on to that name like a promise. Emma would be raised in truth, in peace, in boundaries with consequences.
Emma was born on a Thursday, March 15th, 2:38 p.m., after 13 hours of labor. Ashley's sister called me at 6 a.m. Ashley was in the hospital, early contractions. I drove there in silence, no music, no thoughts, just hands at 10 and 2 and the sound of tires humming over asphalt. When I walked into the waiting room, Ashley's mom glared like I was the villain in a soap opera. Her sister wouldn't look at me. Ashley was already in delivery. I didn't try to go in. 2 hours later, her sister stepped into the hallway, eyes puffy but smiling. "She's here." Emma. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Full head of dark hair. My eyes, Ashley's nose. I held her for 10 minutes in a chair that squeaked every time I shifted. She wrapped one tiny hand around my pinky and didn't let go. I didn't cry. I thought I would, but all I felt was this overwhelming gravity, like my whole identity snapped into place in a single heartbeat. She was mine. Not possession, not ownership, just mine to love, mine to protect, mine to show how this world works, even when people you love forget how to love you back. Ashley and I didn't speak beyond logistics. She's eating every 3 hours. Her temperature's stable. Can you sign this? No smiles, no apologies, no warmth. Just two people who once shared everything, now sharing a child. When I left the hospital, I sat in my car for 20 minutes, hands on the wheel, just breathing. The car seat was already installed, the nursery already painted. I'd prepared, planned, practiced how to swaddle using YouTube videos and a stuffed bear. But nothing prepares you for after, for splitting your child's life into calendar blocks and neutral ground drop-offs. We finalized custody before Emma was a week old, 50-50 split, 1 week on, 1 week off. Handoffs at a coffee shop halfway between my apartment and her sister's house. Sundays, 6 p.m. sharp. No discussion, no small talk, just a diaper bag, a baby, and a nod. Ashley still posts on Instagram, photos of Emma, captions like "single mom life" and "my whole world." Her followers adore it. "You're doing amazing, Mama. He doesn't deserve you. Emma's so lucky to have you." They don't know I'm there half the time. They don't see the bottle prep at 2 a.m., or the late-night rocking when she won't settle, or the doctor visits I schedule. They don't know the lullabies I hum, or the books I read, or the little dance I do that makes her laugh every time. Because I don't post it. Emma's life isn't content, it's sacred. But it's hard. Seeing your daughter called the center of a single mom's world when you're holding her half that world away. Watching your co-parent perform strength for likes while you live the quiet version, the real one. But I don't clap back.
I don't comment. I don't explain. I just show up. Every week, every bottle, every bedtime. Week 4 of co-parenting, I got my first unsolicited parenting advice from a stranger. I was in the grocery store, Emma in a carrier against my chest, half asleep, one sock missing like she was already living the dad life, and an older woman walked by, paused, tilted her head and said, "Aw, babysitting today?" I didn't even blink. Nope, parenting. She gave me a look, pity, I think, or confusion, maybe both, walked away before I could say more. But the words stuck with me like a popcorn kernel behind a tooth. Babysitting, like I was the stand-in, the bench warmer, the help. That's the story people believed because that's the one Ashley sold. Her Instagram was a soft filter factory of resilience, matching outfits, mother-daughter bonding, we don't need anyone but each other. And her followers ate it up. Single mom strength, warrior mama, heroic queen. It was impressive, honestly, the way she rebranded, the way she turned consequence into a redemption arc, like she'd been widowed by my standards. People I hadn't spoken to in years were resharing her posts. We stand with strong mothers, support women who do it all. Except she wasn't doing it all. I was changing half the diapers, buying half the formula, waking up for half the feedings, paying $1,200 a month in child support on top of equal custody. But no one reposts that. There are no hashtags for quiet consistency. My brother came over that weekend, brought beer and pizza, and looked at the nursery I'd built. Soft green walls, cloud mobile, bookshelf half full of bedtime stories I'd already memorized. "You doing okay?" he asked, holding Emma like she was made of glass. "Yeah, actually, yeah. You ever think about reconciling?" I looked at Emma. She gurgled at the ceiling fan like it was telling her secrets. No. Even for her, for Emma? She needs a stable home, not a messy one with two parents pretending they still fit. He nodded, rocked her gently. "Still, man, some people think you're cold." "I'm not cold, I'm clear. There's a difference. I'm clear on what I asked for. Respect. I'm clear on what I didn't get. Honesty. I'm clear on what Emma deserves. Peace, structure, truth." Ashley texted me later that night. Just one sentence. "Do you really hate me that much?" I stared at it for a while. My thumb hovered over the screen. Then I put my phone down, picked up Emma, and held her until she fell asleep. I didn't hate Ashley. I just finally loved myself enough to stop begging someone else to.
3 months after Emma was born, Ashley posted a photo that nearly broke me. It was a sunny day, one of those filtered golden hour shots, Emma in her arms, both of them wearing flower crowns like it was some Pinterest ad for motherhood. The caption? "She doesn't need a father. She has a mama who never leaves." My stomach dropped. I wasn't tagged, I wasn't mentioned by name, but I didn't need to be. Everyone knew. Everyone who followed her, who knew our story, who watched the fallout in real time, they all understood the implication. And they believed it. The comments rolled in like they always did. "Preach, mama. She's better off with you. You're doing it all. Queen. She doesn't need anyone who walked away." I didn't comment, didn't message, didn't call. I just sat there in my living room, Emma's bottle on the table, diaper bag packed for our morning walk, white noise machine humming in the background, and stared at that caption until I wanted to scream. She has a mama who never leaves? I never left. I didn't cheat, didn't run, didn't bail. I set a boundary, a clear, firm, repeated boundary, and followed through when it got crossed for the 4th time. I stayed present. I showed up. I paid what was owed. I parented. I loved. But in her world, in her curated corner of the internet, I was the villain, the footnote, the ghost. She knew what she was doing. That post wasn't for Emma. It was for her followers. It was to cement the narrative. And it worked. By the end of the day, someone had sent it to me 3 different times. "Have you seen this? Bro, this ain't fair. You need to say something." But I didn't.
because no matter what I said, it wouldn't change the story she wanted to tell. So I focused on mine. I took Emma to the park that evening. We sat under a tree while I read The Very Hungry Caterpillar in a dumb voice that made her giggle. We watched dogs pass by. I fed her without looking at my phone once. That's what fatherhood looks like. Not a hashtag, not a post, just showing up, over and over and over. The next Sunday, I asked Ashley to meet at a different coffee shop for drop-off. She agreed without question. When I pulled up, she was already there, arms crossed, Emma asleep in the carrier against her chest. We didn't say much. I handed over the diaper bag, then hesitated. "You know she does have a father," I said, voice low. Ashley blinked. "Excuse me?" "I saw your post." Her jaw tightened. "It wasn't about you. It was entirely about me, and you know that." Silence. A car drove past. A siren wailed a few blocks away. Emma stirred slightly in her sleep. "I'm not trying to start anything, but if you want to co-parent in peace, that starts with respect. Online, too." She looked away, jaw working, lips pressed tight. "Fine. I'm not asking you to praise me, just don't erase me." She nodded once. No apology, no justification, just a tense, clipped fine. That's all I needed. Later that night, I checked. The post was gone. No caption, no flower crown, no passive-aggressive swipe at the man holding her baby in the dark, singing lullabies off-key. Progress? Maybe. Peace? Not yet. But I'll take the small wins. Because fatherhood isn't about winning battles online. It's about being there. Every bedtime, every bottle, every moment. Even the invisible ones. Emma turned 6 months old today. She battles now, nonsense sounds with absolute conviction, like she's telling me ancient secrets in a language only babies speak. She reaches for my face when I hold her, smacks it like she's kneading dough, then giggles like I'm the funniest man alive. Maybe I am, to her at least. My apartment feels full again, not with noise or mess, but meaning. Tiny socks in the laundry, a giraffe pacifier always missing until it's not, fingerprint smudges on the mirror at 3 feet high. My fridge has milk that isn't mine. My mornings start earlier and later, and somehow I've never felt more whole. Ashley and I, we're civil. We nod at drop-offs, exchange baby updates by text. She stopped posting about me, or rather, not posting about me. No more veiled jabs, no more single mom slogans. Her account's mostly just Emma now, and that's fine. I don't look unless someone sends me something, and even then, I scroll past. The story she told about me has faded. Her followers moved on, new drama, new trends. But I stayed, quietly, steadily, still here. People still ask, do you regret it? No, because Emma deserves a father who lives with boundaries, not bitterness. A dad who teaches her that love without respect isn't love, it's performance. That forgiveness isn't owed when change never comes. That sometimes walking away is the act of love. One day she'll ask why her parents split. I'll tell her the truth in a version that doesn't pit her mom against her dad, but I'll also tell her, I loved you enough to never let myself be erased. I loved you enough to choose self-respect over silence. And when she looks at me with her mother's nose and my eyes, I'll know I did the right thing. Because being a good man isn't about being agreeable, it's about being anchored. And I'm anchored in her. No regrets.